Starting a conversation can feel like climbing a mountain, right? Your palms get sweaty, your mind goes blank. You'd rather disappear than make small talk. Trust me, I've been there. Making friends can feel just as daunting. It's like you're navigating a maze, unsure of how to connect with people. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. We've all experienced those awkward silences, those moments where we fumble for words. It's easy to feel discouraged, to think that some people are just naturally good at conversations, while others are not. But that's simply not true. Just like any skill, conversation is something you can learn and improve upon. With a few simple techniques and a little bit of practice, you can transform those awkward encounters into meaningful connections. So, if you're ready to ditch the fear and embrace the power of conversation, stay on. Together, we'll unlock the secrets to making friends and having engaging conversations that leave a lasting impression. Let me tell you a little secret. Even I, your friendly conversation guru, used to be a total disaster in social situations. I'm talking epic fails, cringeworthy moments, the works. I remember one particularly mortifying experience at a networking event. Picture this, a room full of successful professionals, all effortlessly chatting and making connections. And then there was me, standing awkwardly in a corner, clutching my drink like a lifeline. I desperately wanted to join a group, to strike up a conversation, but my mind went completely blank. I tried to recall all the clever things I'd rehearsed in my head, but they vanished into thin air. The more I tried to force myself to talk, the more flustered I became. It was like my brain had turned to mush. I'm sure you can relate to that feeling of wanting to connect but feeling paralyzed by fear or self-doubt. It's those experiences that motivated me to find practical, actionable strategies to improve my own conversational skills. And guess what? They worked! After years of feeling like a social misfit, I stumbled upon a life-changing realization. Conversations aren't about being brilliant or witty. They're about being genuinely interested in the person you're talking to. That's when I started to shift my focus from trying to impress others to simply listening and asking questions. I devoured books on communication, attended workshops, and even practiced my newfound skills on unsuspecting strangers. Don't worry, they survived. Slowly but surely, I noticed a change. Conversations became less about me and more about the other person. I started to relax, to enjoy the process of getting to know people. And to my surprise, the more I focused on making others feel comfortable, the more confident I became in my own ability to hold a conversation. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. So, if you're ready to transform your own conversational skills, get ready for some simple yet powerful tips that will have you chatting with confidence in no time. Remember, it's all about taking small steps and celebrating your progress along the way. Here's a little secret. People love to talk about themselves. Think about it. What's your favorite topic of conversation? Chances are it involves you in some way. So, the next time you're feeling tongue-tied, remember this golden rule. Be interested, not interesting. Instead of racking your brain for something fascinating to say, focus on asking questions and genuinely listening to the answers. I noticed that people can tell when you're truly engaged, and it makes them feel valued and appreciated. Forget about trying to impress them with your vast knowledge or witty anecdotes. The real key to captivating conversations is to make the other person feel like the most interesting person in the room.
Absolutely. When I started focusing on others instead of worrying about what to say next, my conversations became so much more enjoyable. It's amazing how much people open up when they feel truly listened to.
Exactly, John. So remember, it's not about dazzling them with your brilliance. It's about showing genuine interest in their stories and experiences. That's where the magic happens. Tip number 2, the power of how and why. Ask engaging questions, not interrogate.
Let's face it, nobody wants to be bombarded with a series of yes or no questions. It's like being stuck in a boring interview.
To keep the conversation flowing, ditch the mundane and embrace the power of how and why questions.
Instead of asking, "Do you like your job?" Try something like, what's it like working in your field?
Or instead of, did you have a good weekend? Ask, what was the highlight of your weekend? See the difference?
How and why questions encourage people to open up, to share their experiences, and to elaborate on their thoughts.
They transform simple conversations into engaging exchanges that leave a lasting impression. Tip number 3, active listening is key. Show them you really care.
Active listening is like a superpower in the world of conversations. It's about truly tuning in to what the other person is saying, both verbally and non-verbally.
It's about putting aside your own thoughts and judgments and focusing all your attention on understanding their perspective.
When you actively listen, you're not just hearing words, you're absorbing their meaning, their emotions, their energy.
You're making eye contact, nodding your head, and offering verbal cues that show you're engaged and interested.
And here's the best part. Active listening makes people feel heard, understood, and valued.
It creates a connection that goes beyond words, fostering trust and building rapport. Real-life transformations. See these tips in action.
Well, after putting these tips into practice, I decided to face my fear and attend another one. Remember that networking event where I stood frozen in a corner, too afraid to talk to anyone?
This time, armed with my newfound conversational skills, I approached a group with a smile and asked an open-ended question related to the event.
I listened attentively, asked follow-up questions, and before I knew it, I was laughing and connecting with people I had never met before. To my surprise, the conversation flowed effortlessly.
Instead of sticking to work-related topics, I asked her about her recent trip to Italy. Another time, I used the power of how and why questions while chatting with a colleague at lunch.
Her face lit up as she shared her experiences, and we ended up having a delightful conversation that strengthened our bond.
These are just a few examples of how these simple yet powerful tips can transform your conversations and help you build meaningful connections.
Your action plan. It's time to shine. Now that you're armed with these conversation-boosting tips, it's time to put them into action. Remember, the key to mastering any skill is practice. So start small and gradually challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. Here's a simple action plan to get you started. 1. Choose one tip to focus on. Don't try to implement everything at once. Start with the one that resonates with you the most. 2. Set a realistic goal. Maybe it's striking up a conversation with one new person this week or practicing active listening during your next family dinner. 3. Find opportunities to practice. Look for everyday situations where you can flex your conversational muscles, whether it's at the grocery store, the gym, or even online. 4. Be kind to yourself. It's okay to stumble or feel awkward at first. I used to think I needed to do it perfectly, but the truth is everyone makes mistakes, so don't let that discourage you. Embrace the journey. It's okay to stumble. Seriously. Learning to have better conversations is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you feel confident and articulate, and there will be times when you feel tongue-tied and awkward. And that's perfectly okay. The important thing is to embrace the process, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep practicing. Remember, every conversation is an opportunity for growth, even the ones that don't go as planned. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, to experiment with different approaches, and to learn from your experiences. The more you practice, the more natural and effortless your conversations will become. Celebrate small wins. Every step counts. As you embark on your conversational journey, it's important to celebrate your progress along the way. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, every time you engage in a meaningful conversation, every time you make someone feel heard and understood, pat yourself on the back. These small wins may seem insignificant at first, but they add up over time, building your confidence and reinforcing your new skills. So, keep track of your progress, acknowledge your efforts, and celebrate your successes, no matter how small they may seem. You've got this. Go make those connections. Congratulations. You've reached the end of this conversational adventure that I went through, and you're now equipped with the tools and strategies to transform your interactions with others. Remember, the power to connect, to engage, and to build meaningful relationships is within your grasp. So go out there, embrace the art of conversation, and watch as your world expands with every interaction. You've got this. Please subscribe for more videos like this where I share what I learned from my own journey through loneliness.